man is back.
Oh, my gosh, the man got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have delivered something is true, something but look at that, my God.
This is your boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash True Inferno. Back at it with another Call of Duty Modern Warfare commentary video for you guys, and I keep pushing it back. The whole Microsoft GameStop collaboration, and well, now the reason why I'm pushing it back this time is something that happened. It's not gaming related. It's not sports related, and I know today is election day as I'm recording this. But it's not, politics related, anything like that. It's something that happened, or it really is me reacting to another YouTuber, a content creator, a Twitch streamer, and things of that nature, in regards to what he said or what he just revealed to the world, pretty much. And he did this last week, and this one kind of hits home a little bit. So I want to talk about that instead, rather. And this is a personal topic that I want to get into, in my opinion. So here we go. So and I'm actually looking at the video right here. So basically, it is the Black Kage. So for those of you who don't know who that is, so basically at one point in time, he was known as Modern War Negro, rather. So he would troll cats while playing Call of Duty, things that nature at once upon a time. Now he grew up from that. He changed his name from Modern War Negro to the Black Kage, or TBH, part of the Gaming Illuminati crew. And he doing big things. He's doing big things. He's a part of at least 2 podcasts. He live stream on Twitch. He released videos on YouTube and things of that nature. So on his latest solo podcast, so he have 2. One that he does by himself, and another one that he does with the Game Illuminati crew, 2 other members of that crew. So he released a new episode of his solo podcast, which is called Hokage Thoughts, THOTS, and it was titled The Sad Kage. So he basically he broke down in this podcast. So I saw the video version. So he broke down because a bunch of stuff kept happening to him, and he reflected on stuff that happened to him last year, whatever the case may be, and it's all negative, and it got to him, all of them hit him at once, pretty much, to the point where he broke down. And that's what I want to talk about. It's a quite a sad video, to be honest. It's quite a sad video. So, and you can watch it yourself. It's not like, oh, I'm revealing personal information that he don't want. No, he revealed it, to the world. So yeah, I'm unnecessary. It's personal information that he don't want to be. Otherwise, he wouldn't say it. But it's really a tearjerker, if you ask me. Even though I didn't break down myself, I was close to tearing up. I will admit, I was close to tearing up a little bit. And here's the deal. So basically, we got COVID. COVID's going on right now. Now, what he has done in response to COVID is he stayed at home. He did not go out. He did not see anybody. He stayed at home and he worked. So he worked by doing podcasts. He worked by live streaming. He worked by making videos. He worked by talking to companies and figureheads and things of that nature, trying to get deals and sponsorship and all that stuff. So that's basically all he did. Work. And he actually said this part as well in the podcast, if I recall correctly. In this month alone, he is projecting that he will make $40,000 to $50,000 in this month. That's what he's projecting. So he got money and he got nice stuff. Where what happened was he was working out in the live stream. We do his workouts in the mornings, whatever the case may be. And something happened to his shoulders, arms, something like that, where he couldn't work out. And he couldn't really do it. He couldn't do any work at all because I guess it's affected his whole arms and fingers, whatever the case may be. I don't remember in regard that part. So he just sat there. And it was quiet. He looked around. He looked at all the nice stuff that he had. But there was nobody for him to share it with that was there because of COVID and things of that nature. And another thing that happened was him and his girl, they had an episode where she would come to him, or not come to him, literally, but she would call him because she would be depressed about something or she would be going through something, and he'll just tell her to try and, try to toughen up or whatever the case may be, not giving her words of encouragement, which got to her. And, she went off on her saying that, like, yo, this tough mentality that you have, you need to step back on that. You need to cut down on that. You need to cut back on work, things of that nature. And, yeah, he admitted to that. Yes, he was telling the truth about that. So, because apparently he had some relationship in the past and none of them worked out. And he viewed them as like, oh, they whatever. But with this one, he felt like that is wifey material right there. He don't want to lose her. So the fact that he might lose her because his mentality and his work ethic may kind of scare him a little bit. So there's that in combination with the fact that his older sister hates him. In fact, the only person within his immediate family that actually cares about him is his mom. And the fact that his cousin died last year, or his cousin got shot down last year. So all of that, reflecting on all of that, and with all that stuff that's happening with his girl and things of that nature, that just got to him. He just broke down. And he was saying like, yo, because going back to how he grew up, his father is a military guy. So, he had that no nonsense, toughen up, don't get emotional type of mentality. So that was his father. His father put that on his son, TBH. So, and then he even said, and he said this more than once actually. He moved out when he was 18 or 19. I forgot how old he was when he moved out. But he moved out because basically his father taught him to be an alpha, to be a leader, to be a take charge type of guy. And he said when two alphas of that magnitude are living together, they're going to collide, they're going to butt heads, they're not going to get along. So he moved out, and he moved out and lived in the hood, which is something that his father didn't want him to do. Not just moved out, but move out and go to the hood. So, but he did it anyway, and he lived for 5 years in the hood, dealing with rats, dealing with roaches and all that stuff. But he still, he still had this mentality, this alpha mentality. Well, I wouldn't even say alpha mentality, like this emotionless or close to emotionless mentality where, oh man, you need to toughen up, you need to be a man, you need to have pride and all that stuff. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because that hits home with me. Like, I'll be the guy who won't show off my emotions to anybody. I would keep everything to myself, for the most part. I would, I would be the one who say, not one that say tough enough. I would be more considerate, but I would, like tell people as a whole. Like I'm the guy who would say and still say to this day that society is soft as hell. I will say that society nowadays is sensitive as hell, and it's true. And it's true. And in terms of society as a whole, I'm not going to change my stance on that, even after listening to the podcast, because society is sensitive as hell. So, but when it comes to like the whole be a man mentality or what it means to be a man mentality, I want to say me and him are similar in that aspect. Now, in terms of how we got to adapt, or how we got to that characteristics, that similar characteristics, in terms of pride and being a man and not being emotional about stuff like that, are completely different. In his case, his father taught that into him. In my case, I didn't really have a father figure like that. I didn't grow up with my father. So it was like I had to look up to my cousins, or really my older cousin. I had this one guy, this one cousin who he would come over to my side of the area. I forgot where he lived. This is way back in the day. But during the weekends, he would come over to my side of this area, wherever, because we had an aunt and uncle who lived on the other side of the block. He would go down there and stay with them for the weekend. And I would either go down there and visit him and hang out with him, or he would come to my house and, hang with me. And we'll be playing video games. We'll be playing basketball. We'll be hanging out with my friends on my neighborhood. We'll be hanging out with his friends at my aunt and uncle neighborhood, talk to girls, watch music videos and stuff like that, So I would look up to him in regards to that. And another thing that I did was I looked at my male classmates to see what their tendencies are, how they act, and things of that nature. And I took all that and said, okay, this must be what it's like to be a man, because again, I didn't have a father figure to legit teach me. So, and I guess you could say I took that to the extreme, or whatever the case may be, just like TBH did. And apparently, he was not show off, but he would show those tendencies with his girl and not being caring enough or more emotional towards her feelings and her needs and things of that nature, and that got to him. And that's that's the main reason why I want to talk about that in this video, because like I said, we have a similar personality in terms of sensitivity, when to be sensitive, when not to be sensitive, things of that nature. I feel like we're similar, but how we got to that point were different. I will say that. So, and it got me looking at myself like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I could be a bit more sensitive toward not necessarily toward people. I'm not saying, oh, if somebody came to me with an issue, I'm not saying, oh, man up, man. You gotta be toughen up, man. You gotta do this, blah blah blah. You know, like I said, there's a time and a place for me to say that, if depending on who came up to me and what the issue is. But in terms of how I feel about certain stuff, maybe I could loosen up it. You're talking to a guy who at one point in time did a Man Be Man series. So if some of you guys would have watched the Man Be Man playlist, I think I got a playlist, and I don't know how many videos I did of this. Like 10, 11, 12 videos of those. Y'all might look at me and say, nah, man, you're incorrect. So if I would have rewatched those, I might loosen up in regards to some of the things I say, or that I said rather, in those Men Be Men videos. Like, for example, one example I'll probably say is, yo, no grown dude should not be living and not, and have a cat and not have a dog and like a big ass dog, something like that. So I might have to loosen up about that, and things of that nature. And there's other thing I don't remember everything that I said, but there's some things where like, yo, man gotta be man, otherwise they're questionable. I will say stuff like that, and now I'll probably loosen up and be like, I might change my mind, or I might have a change of opinion about some of the things I said back then. So, that's one of the things I may try to loosen up on based on what I saw in this podcast. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. And here's the thing about him. Here's the thing about TBH. Like, people would come to him for advice, for leadership and things of that nature. He welcomes it. But the question is, who did he go to for advice, for comfort and things of that nature? Now, with me, I'm not the type of guy who would say, oh, if you have any issues, come to me. Because I don't have all the answers, because I haven't really experienced hardships like that. All I can do is just give you my opinion and say, well, I have not been in those shoes, but based on what you told me, I think you should do this. I think you should feel about it in that way. And it's up to you whether you want to roll with that advice or not. So, I mean, it's a really, I will admit, it's a really, no pun intended, sensitive subject. And it kind of hit home with me a little bit. That's why I'm going to talk about it in this video. So, but then again, I'm not saying, yo, all dudes should be like sensitive and display nothing but emotions and things of that nature. Like, no, don't fall into that trap. Like, you gotta, if you're a heterosexual man, you gotta like have some pride. You gotta keep that tendencies, because here's the thing. If you want to have a family, you're going to be responsible not just for yourself, but for your family. So you got to be strong. You got to be that backbone that your family can rely on and lean on, because they're going to be looking for you for leadership and support and things of that nature. But yeah, there is a time and a place where you can't be strong forever. Like, you can't have that mentality forever. There's going to be a point where you need to like recharge, or just let it all out there so you can keep going with a clean slate. And yeah, if you have to do all that with your woman, so be it. If you have to do it with your boys, like your real boys, so be it. If you have to do it with your parents, so be it. But yeah, you can't have the strong mentality forever, all the time, 24/7. Again, you got to unloose, you got to rewind, you got to reflect, you got to chill, mellow out, do whatever it is you have to do. And you have to show up your sensitive side once in a while so you can be rejuvenated and refreshed and ready to go when it comes times for you to be a man and to be a leader and to display that strong personality towards whoever. So it's a time and a place for everything, really. So I'm gonna call it a wrap. And with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is your boy New Jig Ass Beat, aka New Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.
Here comes